Good afternoon everyone, Asakura with you, and today in Mobile Hero Wars I'm going to show you my favorite offensive team for all occasions. It's great against teams with engineers, Fafnir and Tristan, Mushi, Amira, Aiden and Zesha, and it's also good against meta teams with Oya. Watch this video to the end to enter the giveaway and get resources. Subscribe to my channel, there you will find a lot of unique information you didn't know about before. After some time of Oya's introduction, everyone obsessed about teaming up with her, and with the best damage dealers like Yasmine, Kayla, Artemis, Kara, and so on. It's understandable Oya improves your physic hero significantly with her abilities, and her first artifact to increase your critical hit chance, and she can do a lot of damage herself if she's teamed up with Tristan. I'm not going to talk about her in this review, because just recently a full review about Oya came out on my channel. Please check it out. Long story short, everyone should have this hero, but what if you already have a team with her and need a second team? Is there an alternate team that is great with many teams on defense and doesn't require Oya? Such a team does exist, and I am pleased to bring it to your attention. This review will be extremely useful for those who play Inter-Server Championship and Grand Arena and who are on the lookout for interesting bundles. So the following characters are on this team: Qing Mao, Dante, Morrigan, Sebastian, and Octavia. Why exactly such a set of heroes, what such a team is capable of, and against whom it is needed, now we will find out. First, let's start our analysis with their first artifacts. Dante and Octavia have artifacts for dodge, while Qing Mao and Morrigan have an artifact for armor penetration, and Sebastian have a physical attack artifact effect. According to the arrangement of all characters in this team, Qing Mao is the first and acts as the tank here. Behind her, Dante, Morrigan, Sebastian, and Octavia. We come to the study of the synergy of abilities in this team, and here it should be noted that Qing Mao becomes exactly the first and acts as a tank. This is important for getting into ultimates quickly and giving everyone effect from the first artifact on armor penetration. She has a bit of health, but at the expense of equipment items. She has a nice dodge chance in her arsenal, which is boosted numerically by Octavia and Dante's second abilities. And when Qing Mao or any ally of Dante and Octavia dodge the damage, the latter gets extra energy, and Dante throws a spear at the attacker at the expense of third skill. We'll touch on this more later. We end up with a situation where Qing Mao trades her health, dodging whenever possible, and in return gets the energy she needs and ults, maybe even multiple times. Even if she dies, it is far from a fact that this attacking team will lose, because in addition to her as the main damage dealer here is Dante. But before analyzing him, we need to pay attention to Sebastian and the following detail. Dante and Qing Mao received talismans for chance of a critical hit. Previously, they did not have this characteristic due to the lack of such items in their equipment. Of course, for this reason you can avoid putting Jet to give out this characteristic. You can get by with just Sebastian. What's he for? Not only does Sebastian increase critical hit chance of those allies who have this characteristic, but he also gives their critical hits additional net damage. By doing so, he increases their already aggressive offensive potential. Plus, a curse that lowered armor of the nearest opponent would be liked by the same Qing Mao, who was also able to lower armor more and more with her strikes. Only Ziri can cause problems, and they're not fatal. And first physical attack artifact is the most versatile thing a physical support hero can have. So if Sebastian's role is to amplify critical damage that Dante and Qing Mao do, then Qing Mao's main goal is to get on ultimate as quickly as possible and deal damage with it and her small area attacks. Dante, thanks to the first Qing Mao artifact for armor penetration, deals incredibly high damage right from the start of the fight. It's all about our spearman doing a lot of damage due to his abilities, ultimates, third skill, and fourth skill. His ultimates are set to 95% of his physical attack, and his third skill is set to 90%. Don't forget that all spears from both skills can do double damage due to the critical hit chance, plus Sebastian's net damage is added to them in this scenario. His third skill triggers when Dante or any of his allies dodge damage. He instantly creates a spear and throws it at the nearest enemy. This spear deals physical damage to the enemy and repels them on impact. That is, from the very beginning of the fight. Due to Qing Mao's dodges, reinforced by Dante and Octavia, Dante himself starts throwing spears and dealing a lot of damage, pushing all the opponents back into a pile and allowing Qing Mao to rush into several heroes at once. You can't write off Dante's fourth skill either, which he uses to reduce an opponent's basic characteristic for 7 seconds when he hits them with Spectral Spear by ultimate or third skill. For a tank it is especially disgusting because he loses health by losing strength, and for all other heroes, including tanks, the lower the numerical value of their main characteristic, the greater the chance that they will be critically hit. Few people know about it, but there is such a correlation. It is reflected in detail on the picture in front of your screens, as well as on the official site of the Encyclopedia of Mobile Hero Wars. I will leave the link in description of this video. Thus, the talisman given to Dante, giving him a chance of critical hit, perfectly completes the logic of his interaction with his fourth and the rest of his skills. And of course, the main pace of this team is set by Octavia. It is Octavia's second skill, which is used at the very beginning of the fight, and increases dodge of the most forward ally in the team, together with Dante's second skill that makes Qing Mao a strong fighter. This point is clear, but it's important to mention here again that for every dodge of any ally, Octavia herself and the dodged ally get extra energy. It's the engine of our team. It's the creator of our tempo. Without Octavia, this team would not be able to work so fast and deliver ultimates time after time. Also, a nice addition is Octavia's third skill, which puts an effect on all allies that increases their armor penetration by 3 seconds. This effect is also applied to an ally each time they dodge damage. The armor penetration rate goes up by a mere 8720, but that's important too, especially when it comes to serious defensive teams against us. The mirror from Octavia's damage returning ultimate can also be useful, especially against heroes with mass abilities. So, what do we have? Octavia and Dante allow Qing Mao to dodge often. The more often Qing Mao dodges, the faster and more often she and Octavia dodge, and the more often Dante deals damage with his spears, lowering the characteristic and thus increasing the chance to critically strike enemies. To be fair, if Octavia ults at Qing Mao's life even one time, she is very likely to survive to the end of the fight and win it. Even these 4 heroes without a 5th on their team can do a lot. Before the introduction of Dante and Qing Mao talismans, I used to put Jet here, and that team excelled, but now he's not needed, and so I was considering a few heroes for the last slot. Among them, the one that appealed to me was Ginger due to the strong deceleration effect of any repulsion from her second ability, but she has very little health and her own damage isn't exactly high, plus her mass damage ult sometimes played against her. I also considered Dark Star for the 5th position, but control from ultimate and second skill with extra arrow didn't make a noticeable impact, and her health disadvantage is the same as Ginger. Daredevil is practically useless, and Astrid is better used as an engineer. I could not put anyone in front of Qing Mao. The concept of this team would be lost. It was a pity that Ishmael was in front of her. I ended up trying Morrigan here, and she was a perfect fit. Not only do you shut down the resurrection option for enemy Kayla and Aiden, Astaroth and Rufus, but Morrigan also has a first artifact for the same armor penetration. Even if Qing Mao dies, for Dante, she will give out an armor penetration from herself. She has about 500,000 health due to the talisman, and bone armor will protect our Dante from extra damage in due time. Yes, and skeletons themselves can do some damage, but their whole point comes down to third ability, with which Morrigan summons 2 skeletons talismans and casts an empathic effect on allied Eternity heroes, evenly distributing a portion of damage they take among all skeletons. As a reminder, in addition to Morrigan, the heroes of Eternity on our team are Dante and Octavia. Therefore, this skill is often useful, especially in situations where a lot of damage is being sent to our team at once, like Artemis, Lilith's, Amira's, or Zesha's ultimates. Overall, Morrigan acts as a support hero here, who will not only deal out healing, armor, and protection from magic, but will also protect against damage and deal an armor penetration effect from first artifact. You can't think of a better hero to put on this team. And the great thing about all of this is that with a team like this of Qing Mao, Dante, Morrigan, Sebastian, and Octavia, you'll have ligaments like Tristan, Oya, and Fafnir available for the second and third team, as well as fully stocked engineers. By doing so, you can use 3 physical teams if the situation calls for it. This team is capable of smashing almost any defensive squad, whether it's mages or physic heroes. The only heroes our reviewed cast suffers against is Heidi and Nebula. You can't dodge pure damage, and this mage has a lot of armor. You can't kill him quickly, especially if he's under Dorian. Either way, I love this team and use it not only on offense, but on defense too. In a month or more, Octavia will receive the talisman. I dread to imagine what she will be capable of once she receives it. But even now, she's with the rest of her allies on such a team, already making some serious commotion. Meanwhile, for the 5 of you, I'll help you get more. Participate in the giveaway right now, the point of which is to simply leave a comment below this video with your in-game account ID. The main requirement for participation is also to subscribe to my channel and like this video, so subscribe. The more you are waiting for a large number of unique videos, the winner will be chosen randomly. The results will be announced in comments very soon. I will reply to the winners in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you soon.